Have you been told your liver enzymes are elevated? Oh no, immediately you start searching the internet to see how serious this is. Today on Healthy Looks Great on You, we're going to look at the most common liver disease in the world, fatty liver.
There's a lot of noise in healthcare and you are too busy for fads. I'm Dr. Vickie and this is Healthy Looks Great on You, a lifestyle medicine podcast, life tested, doctor approved.
You've gone to the doctor and had blood work done, and you get a notification that your lab results are available in the portal. Uh-oh, some of those numbers are highlighted because they're abnormal. But what is AST and ALT and ALT? Now, this usually happens about 7:45 p.m., long after the doctor's office is closed. Heck, the doctor probably hasn't even seen the results yet. So what are you going to do? We have three options. You can send a message through the portal and wait until tomorrow for an answer. You can phone your friend who is a doctor and ask them what it all means, or you can consult the internet. I did a little experiment and searched WebMD. Then in the search bar, I typed, what causes AST and ALT to be high? And y'all, I didn't scroll down for the answer, and I saw a WebMD spotlight and thought that was the answer they were giving. It said, generalized pustular psoriasis, symptoms, causes, and treatments. Now, if you know that psoriasis is a skin condition, then you'd understand why I was so amused by that. Once I recovered from chuckling at myself, I found the answers. Here's the first sentence. The aspartate aminotransferase AST test is a blood test that looks for liver damage. That sounds really scary. I'll be honest, I didn't read any more because I don't use WebMD for my research. But I looked up ALT and it said this. The alanine aminotransferase ALT test is a blood test that checks for liver damage. Your doctor can use this test to see if a disease, drug, or injury has damaged your liver. Liver damage sounds very serious, doesn't it? Well, let's start by going to mini medical school and learning more about one of the most fascinating organs in the body that has the incredible ability to heal itself, the liver. And by the way, you don't need a liver cleanse or a detox, but you do need to take care of it. Today we're going to focus on liver enzymes, since that's what's routinely tested. And let's start with the basics. If your liver enzymes are elevated, you probably think more about the word liver than the word enzymes. So today, instead of going to anatomy class, because I think you're all pretty familiar with where your liver is, we're going to biochemistry. And I know biochemistry is hard, but you enrolled in mini medical school to learn real science, didn't you? So what is an enzyme? Well, it's a catalyst. And that just means that it speeds along a chemical reaction without being used up. You know, like laundry detergents contain enzymes that help break down stains. Well, inside your body, there are lots of enzymes in your liver and elsewhere. A typical panel for liver enzymes tests for ALT, AST, and ALT. And we're going to look at the first two because ALT is less specific and usually not markedly elevated with fatty liver disease, and that's what this podcast is about today. It's going to sound a little bit like alphabet soup, but here's a fun fact that's immediately going to increase your medical vocabulary. When you see a word that ends in the suffix ASE, then you immediately know it's an enzyme. It's a catalyst for a chemical reaction. Now, of course, when you see ALT and AST, you don't get the full picture. And when you see alanine transaminase, which is what ALT stands for, or aspartate transaminase, which is what AST stands for, your eyes probably start to glaze over. But here's the deal. Those alphabet soup enzymes are your liver's way of waving a yellow flag. They tell us something is irritating me, but they don't tell you exactly what. And the number one reason those enzymes rise? Not alcohol, not hepatitis, it's fatty liver disease. It's the most common liver condition in the world, even in people who are teetotalers. Let's talk about what that means. Think of your liver as your body's chemical factory. It processes everything you eat and drink and some things that you even breathe. But when extra fat sneaks into the liver cells, imagine trying to cook dinner while every inch of the counter space is covered in groceries. It clogs up the system. At first, your liver compensates. It's a tough organ. It can even regenerate new cells. But over time, too much fat causes inflammation and tiny little scars. And that's when we start calling it non-alcoholic steatohepatitis, or NASH. Try saying that 3 times fast. If inflammation keeps going, those scars become fibrosis and eventually cirrhosis. And that's when the liver starts to lose its ability to function. So here's what you've got. A buildup of fat inside the liver cells. We call it steatosis now instead of fatty. It just sounds nicer, but to me doesn't give as graphic of a picture of what's really going on. So fat builds up, inflammation starts. That's when those enzymes start going up. Scarring forms, and then finally, if it's left unchecked, permanent damage. But, and this is the hopeful part, if we catch it early, it's reversible. And again, you don't need a cleanse. What you need is a lifestyle reboot. More plants, more movement, less processed foods, and stress management, because your liver hates stress hormones too. Now, you've passed your mini medical school biochemistry class and learned that enzymes are catalysts and ACE means enzymes. So let's look at what really causes those numbers to climb and what you can do to bring them down naturally. We're going from, uh-oh, my liver enzymes are high, to, aha, I can fix this. You've got this amazing organ quietly working 24/7 like an overachiever in your body's group project. It processes nutrients, filters toxins, and even makes cholesterol, the good kind, and the not so good kind. And we'll talk about that in an upcoming episode. But your liver is not invincible. Most of the time, fatty liver develops because of metabolic dysfunction, which means your liver is stuck trying to store extra calories that your body doesn't need. So let's break down the biggest culprits. Number 1 is too much sugar. The sneaky kind. You know how added sugars hide out in things like coffee creamers and granola bars, which are basically just cookies in disguise, and healthy yogurt. Y'all know I don't think yogurt is healthy, right? Your liver is the only organ that can process fructose, and that's the sugar in fruit, soda, and yes, that caramel drizzle that you tell yourself doesn't count because it's just a little treat. When there's too much fructose, your liver converts it to fat. Imagine the liver saying, I cannot store any more glycogen. I'll just wrap this up and stick it in the fat closet. That closet gets full fast. The second thing is ultra-processed foods and refined carbohydrates. White bread and pasta and crackers and cereal. Your body turns those into glucose in record time, and that floods your system with insulin, which is your storage hormone. And insulin's favorite storage site? You got it, the liver. When insulin is high all the time, your liver can't burn fat efficiently, so it starts hoarding it. Number 3 is too much sitting. You see, the liver is a metabolic hub. It loves movement. Every time you walk, your muscles start pulling glucose out of your blood, which takes the burden off your liver. So no movement, no glucose drain, more fat storage. Number 4 is alcohol, even in moderation. I know, we used to say that red wine was good for your heart. There's some new information about that, which I will cover in an upcoming episode. But regardless, any alcohol is first processed in the liver. And what that does is shut down fat metabolism in the liver. So even small amounts can make a difference if you have fat buildup. Number 5 is stress and sleep deprivation. When you're stressed or not sleeping, cortisol and adrenaline are constantly pumping. And these hormones tell your body, we're in danger, so you need to hold on to energy. That energy storage happens as fat, and the liver ends up paying the price. But here's the good news. Your liver has superhero level regeneration powers. If you reduce the fat and inflammation, the liver can actually heal itself. How? Well, let's talk about the 6 pillars of lifestyle medicine and connect the dots. Number 1 is nutrition. Eat more plants, especially fiber-rich plants. And remember, fiber is only found in plants. Think beans and greens and whole grains. Fiber feeds your gut microbiome and it helps balance blood sugar. And that tells your liver, hey, we got this under control. Next is movement. And look, you don't have to be doing CrossFit. Just move, just walk. Even 10 minutes after a meal helps your liver clear out sugar and fat. Number 3 is stress management. You know, we talk about deep breathing and mindfulness, but I like the idea of dancing in the kitchen. Whatever keeps cortisol from being too high as a permanent resident. Next is minimize harmful substances. Of course, alcohol is bad for your liver, but increasingly there is data coming out about the damage to the liver by supplements, because that's where your liver processes it. So do your research and be careful with supplements. And next is social connection. You're more likely to stick with healthy habits if you have a good social network. So find your people and you'll find your health. And then, of course, near and dear to my heart is restorative sleep. Because here's the deal. Your liver works the night shift. So if you're not sleeping, your liver can't do the detox work that it's supposed to do overnight. Restorative sleep is like giving your liver a day at the spa. So next time you see those scary looking liver enzymes on your lab report, remember, that's a message. Your liver's not mad at you. It's just asking for a little help. And with the right habits, it can bounce back. So those alphabet soup liver enzymes, AST and ALT, are little messengers. They're not tattling on you. They're just saying, hey friend, your liver's doing some overtime. Maybe we should talk about your habits. And if you want a little help with your habits, just head over to my website, healthylooksgreatonyou.com, and check out my 7-day prescription to build healthy habits and even lose belly fat. When those enzymes go up, it's often because your liver has been asked to store too much fat. Not just from alcohol, but from sugar and processed foods and stress, sitting too much, and not sleeping enough. But let me say this louder for the folks in the back. Fatty liver is reversible. Your liver can heal. Not with a cleanse or a detox tea or some $300 supplement. Just simple, evidence-based habits that support your liver every single day. So here's your prescription. Add color to your plate. Every plant has a purpose. Think of fiber as your liver's best friend. Move your body daily. Even 10 minutes after a meal counts. And sleep like your health depends on it, because it does. And if you need more resources on this, please go to my website, healthylooksgreatonyou.com, and download some free resources. But say no to excess sugar, alcohol, and quick fixes, because they don't exist. And manage stress before it manages you. And lean into your community. You don't have to do this alone. Your liver story isn't written in stone, it's written in lifestyle. And that means you hold the pen. And if this episode hit close to home for you, I've got good news. You can take what you learned today and actually do something about it. Go over to my website, healthylooksgreatonyou.com, and grab my free pantry guide. It's quick meals, not quick fixes. And what this will do is give you a list of 10 ingredients you can keep in the pantry and 10 ingredients you can keep in the freezer so that you can start cooking quick, healthy meals for your family. Delicious food you can eat, and science you can understand, and results you can feel. Because a happy liver is a healthy body, and healthy looks great on you.
The information contained in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not considered to be a substitute for medical advice. You should continue to follow up with your physician or healthcare provider and take medication as prescribed. Though the information in this podcast is evidence-based, new research may develop and recommendations may change.